and Michael Wayman are going to supplement the pack. And also then they've brought back Ben Cockayne and Justin Paul, who were other signings, and Jamie Langley, I think is less noteworthy, but...
I think he's worth a place on the ladder to be honest.
I don't have that much more to say about the Hull KR.
Yeah.
You like the signings.
I think you and I differ on the Hulls this year. You've got Hull finishing above Hull KR, whereas I have Hull KR finishing above Hull. I think, again, a lot needs to come together for Hull KR, but I like the look of Chris Keating, and if he comes off as a signing for them, he's obviously been brought in as a direct replacement for Dobson. If he does a good job and can fill Dobson's boots, I think that Hull will go on to have a good season because he'll marshal them round the pitch. I like Ben Cockayne as a winger. I like he finds the line, he scores tries. I like him on the field of play. Justin Paul, again, came in from Wakefield. Good-looking player, gets a lot of work done for me. He's my one to watch. I like the way he goes about things. And Jamie Langley, yeah, less of a notable, let's be fair, at the back end of his career, but the guy brings in hatfuls of experience and bags of professionalism, and there'll be nobody fitter. He might not be as mobile as he used to be, but there won't be a fitter guy on that pitch for Hull KR this year. So, to be frank, I think they're probably going to have a better season than Hull FC. I've got them finishing 7th, and my key man being Chris Keating. Everything hinges on him. So
a lot of the Hull KR fans who got in touch with us agree with you, in fact go better than you, and some of them expect they could push for the top 4.
I think that's ambitious.
Is kind of what they're going for. I'm putting them in 9th. I think they're the club that Salford replaces in the top 8. That's my assessment of it. They were 8th last year, they had a losing record, they sneaked into the playoffs with the losing record because of the format. I think they're the team to drop out. I don't think they've improved. I don't think they've got worse, but I don't think they've improved. A lot will depend on the defence. I mean, that was woeful at times last year. But the key man for them is Greg Eden. He's the only player looking at the squad who has genuine pace, genuine ability to break the line, genuine excitement. So I like him coming out the back. I think he's talented, even though he's got a mistake in. I think it'll be interesting to watch out for Keil Carlisle because I think he'll get a lot more playing time interchanging with Josh Hodgson now that Lincoln Withers has left. I didn't like Lincoln Withers very much. I thought he was a bit dirty. But Keil Carlisle, I think he's quite a young, exciting player. I think he was Young Player of the Year potentially last year. We'll move on to your favourites now.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see where we've put the Rhinos. Lead the way, sir.
Well, the question mark is age, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every year the question mark is age, and they've got older again. Have they?
Well, a lot of them, everyone's older than they were this time last year, so yeah, I think it's fair to say that they have got older. Certainly the pack, for me, is putting a lot of weight on Brett Delaney's shoulders. That said,
in terms of, you mean work rate?
I think the fact that they're ageing will mean that Brett Delaney needs to do a lot more work than he would do. But then, Big Jamie had a massive season last year, and he's not getting any younger either. So,
see, I think they've started to address the age concern with players like Liam Sutcliffe, Brad Singleton having significant roles in the team last season, both playing, over 10 games in the first team. Sutcliffe played 15 games, I think. Liam Sutcliffe, he had a good spell. A lot of other players made appearances, although most of them have gone on loan to London. And there's a few young players on the edge of the squad, not named in the 25-man squad, but on the edge of that. Elliot Minchella would be my one to watch, for example. He's a back row forward, loose forward, who has been captain in the under-19 side, who went quite well last year until he came up against the Wigan team. And he looks fierce, strong, committed, leadership quality. I think he's a good one to watch for this season when he gets his chances.
Yeah, they've got a good youth system, haven't they? And they've historically produced a lot of good young players. One of my issues with Leeds this year is in fact the discipline of some of their young players. I think the World Cup showed that Leeds had to take young Hardacre, thank you. I didn't say Ben Jones Bishop then, sorry. Young Zach Hardacre in hand a little bit and deal with some issues there. And I haven't really got a handle on quite what happened while he was in the England side and whether or not Zach Hardacre gets his head back on straight and has a big year. But that for me is something that will be interesting to see how he goes and whether or not they trust him and what responsibilities they give him and whether he steps up to the mark now and answers his critics a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few players maybe fitting in that category, like Ben Jones Bishop's another one. who is on the edge of things. You don't know what he's going to deliver this year, so you have to watch out for that. I've still got them finishing in second in the league, though. I just think, you look at that three-quarter line, Zach Cardick had a troubled November time, but is still probably the best fullback in the competition now that Sam's gone to New Zealand. And, I mean, they've got two of the best three wingers in the country on either side. They've got possibly the two best centres in the competition.
Yeah.
Callum Watkins is possibly the best player. He's the next one to really get sniffed out for Down Under, probably.
In fact, I'm surprised he hasn't gone already.
He's a very exciting player. He's my key man for them just because of how good he is.
Yeah.
Really. And so I have them second. What about yourself?
I've got them finishing third. For a lot of the same reasons as you, really. Again, those outside backs are phenomenal. Just a great set of athletes to have, really, and it hurts to say that. But I also like Paul Ayton coming in as well. I think he's an upgrade, certainly on Paul McShane, who's gone the other way to Wakefield.
He won all the Player of the Year awards at Wakefield pretty much last year.
Yeah, that's a very shrewd, under the radar kind of signing as well. So I like that, and I think he'll do very, very well in a Leeds jersey. Unfortunately, but yeah, third place for me, and a good tilt at the playoffs.
London Broncos.
Where do we start with the London Broncos? Because
I had to rewrite the preview for them about 5 times in the last week or so.
Well, I think in the time that we've been recording, they've probably signed someone else from the NRL as well now, so this could well be out of date.
From the Queensland Cup, maybe.
Yes.
But no, we've had actually probably the most interaction from London fans than any other fans on our Twitter feed.
They certainly seem a passionate bunch.
Yeah, and they're building a squad. It might be the youngest squad in Super League by far. They might only have 19 players seemingly signed to the roster, and their average age is around 20 and a half.
Right.
It's very young, and also very few games in the first team squad between them. I think I had some numbers on this. They average 26 senior club games across the board. That's including Matt Cook and Scott Moore, who've both played over 100 games in Super League. Scott Moore had a few games in the NRL as well last year. They nearly added Ben Ross, who had retired.
Close, but no cigar.
He'd won a grand final some years ago, but no. he's got some community welfare projects that he's passionate about. So he's
clearly more passionate about that than he is about youth work, then, isn't he? I think my thing with the Broncos this year is that you never like to see anybody struggle as badly as they have done in terms of player loss and uncertainty about where a ground's going to be and are we going to have a team to follow next year. And it's not a nice thing to operate under as a fan, and I know that from fairly close-hand experience with the Bulls. But the one uptick for me with the Broncos is they've got absolutely nothing to lose now. They've brought in some guys. Every week they're going to be underdog. And there's a lot of youngsters there that can go out and make a name for themselves. And if they grasp the nettle a little bit and get some hard work done, there's potential for them to upset a few teams if they get underestimated or teams get lazy against them. And there's some young players there like Caden Brown, who are going to... Kieran Dixon's another good-looking player for me. I think, what have they got to lose? If they finish bottom, they haven't exceeded anyone's expectations, but they haven't underplayed either.
No, yeah.
So anything above last place is going to be a bonus for them.
Yeah, I think so. I think the most optimistic Broncos fans would say 12th is the best they can do.
Absolutely, and that's got to be the yardstick for them this year.
And the worry for me is that these players they brought in on loan from Leeds, a couple of the young signings they brought in from overseas who probably won't stick around for the long haul, especially if they're, not playing in Super League.
No.
Although the new format might help them, but more of that another time.
Yep.
I hope they get to play. I hope Caden Brown... I hope Saeed Agboke, who looks like a fast, powerful winger. I'd never heard of him, so I thought.
No, I've got to admit, he's a new one. He's a new one on me as well.
Can't tackle, but he can bloody run.
Always like that in a winger.
So he's going to be one of the players who can play on that left wing whilst Kieran Dixon's out until July, I hear. So
long time injured.
Yeah, so there goes my key man for the team as well, Kieran Dixon.
Well, he's key in another sense now that he's missing, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, last year they didn't win any of the games where he didn't play, although they didn't win a lot of the games where he did play either. The one to watch for me is, I don't know how to say it, Matai Tonga, the young fullback who played in the World Cup. Saw him play at Halifax.
Nesiasi Matai Tonga.
Saw him play at Halifax. He was quite an exciting player. He should he should break the line a few times. Don't know what it'll be like when put under pressure defensively, but he'll explode out of the cannon a few times for returning kicks, I think.
Yeah, I like the look of that, and I do like a Tongan, a big Tongan player as well. We both agreed on 14th place. I think that's safe to say. My key man's Kieran Dixon as well. Key in two senses now, in that they'll be missing him, and then key when he returns. But I like Mason Caton-Brown. I think the kid's got a lot of skill. He's good with ball in hand, and he's rapid. There's a lot of very fast runners at London Broncos, and I think if they utilise those this season, that could well be an outlet for some success.
Yeah, and Caton-Brown only got his chance right at the end of last season, the last 2 games, and he scored 4 tries and made 250 metres over those 2 games. So he's,
it's
pretty
good
explosive.
return.
Yeah.
Good return, isn't
They
it,
won
for a
both
young
those
Willer?
games as well on the road. So, well, there you go. The big talking point team really for the season is
The
probably
Red Devils.
Yeah, the Devolution, which
Yes.
I think is an awful hashtag.
I think there's some marketing guy somewhere has had a master stroke early one morning while perhaps moving his bowels.
It
and
sounds
has
too much like
gone into work with
devolution
a
rather
great-
than revolution.
Well, let's see which happens.
There's no point talking about what they had before. It's all new. We can go through what the team's going to be. I mean, you're going to have Jake Mullaney at fullback,
Yep.
who's coming from Australia. He should be a talented player. Lots of people are excited to see him come over. You've got old man Francis Melly, somehow still playing on a wing.
The never-ending winger.
Inside him will be Junior Sau, who's got a lot of experience, still performs to a quite good level when he plays. He should be okay. Then you've got 2 players who actually were at the club last year still. You've got Gleeson and you've got Williams on the other side. Then Rangi Chase and Tim Smith. I mean, what a creative pair. What a potential liability defensively.
Absolutely. And do they combine well together, or are they too much individual?
That's the question marks to be answered, isn't it? Then you move into the pack. You've got a back row that's probably going to have Hansen, Pulatua, Hock around there. That's a really impressive bunch, particularly Harrison Hansen. I adore Harrison Hansen. I think he's an incredible player. I do think it's not a bad time for Wigan to have moved him on if we got a little bit of a fee for him.
Yeah.
But I also will miss him. I was going to get 11 Hansen on the back of my shirt this year. It's not happened.
You're not missing much. That's a horrible home kit at Wigan this year.
And then they've also added Morley, who is obviously the oldest player in Super League. Tassie and Steve Rapira, who is the poorer Rapira, but he's still NRL experience. Tassie is the young sort of prospect who you don't know much about, really. He came from the Broncos, didn't play a lot. Bit more of a physical, short burst, kind of knock him out of the way forward, I would expect.
I think being the unknown quantity in this Red Devils team could well work to your advantage, though. I think everyone's going to know all about guys like Adrian Morley, Gareth Hock, Tony Pulato, Harrison Hansen. They all come with the Super League pedigree, and they're going to be the ones that people are focusing on. This guy, Tassie, now has an opportunity to come in and be an explosive addition to this side that people just see coming from left field. So if he's going to get game time and he's going to play in that pack, then it's a really good opportunity for him. And again, Steve Rapira, if you can keep him from breaking his glass leg, he's got the potential to do very well in this division. So I like the signings that they've made. I think the key for Salford is going to be gluing it all together.
Yeah, I mean,
but then,
Nobby himself said you can't build a team in 3 to 5 weeks. It takes 3 to 5 years, but he's going to have to do it in 3 to 5 weeks. You don't know how patient or impatient the good doctor will be.
But if you want a man to have a bit of money and build you a team over 3 to 5 years, then Brian Noble has that experience from Bradford. So, he's Wigan.
He put the foundation blocks in place for what Maguire then turned into a storming success.
True, absolutely. So, they've got a very, very experienced, very gifted coach, and they've got a lot of good players on paper there. It needs to gel for them.
Yeah, I've got them finishing in 6th place. I do think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't think they'll win the league like Phil Clark does, but I've got the key man being Rangi Chase because he'll demand so much ball, have all the ball, do a lot of things for the team, and also key in the other sense that he's the weak link defensively. I think you can get it. You can get past him. He misses a lot of tackles. And then the one to watch on your theme that you were going along with Tassie, kind of the unknown quantity, I've gone with Jake Mullaney. People won't know that much about him, but fullback's now a very key position in Super League, and I think he's got the potential to be exciting addition. I think a few of the Salford fans who've been in touch with us have indicated that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these new additions go. I think a lot of guys that come over from NRL and down under, who are unknown prospects, tend to have a little bit less weight on their shoulders. So hopefully he makes a fist of things, and certainly from a Salford point of view, hopefully he makes a fist of things. We agree, actually, on league placing. I think Salford are going to finish 6th as well. Slow start for me, and then it comes together after Easter time, I reckon. And my want to watch is going to